Attachez vos ceintures. Si vous souhaitez devenir un expert en cybersécurité reconnu dans le monde entier, notre bootcamp CISSP est votre billet d'or. En un mois seulement, vous maîtriserez les 8 domaines du CISSP avec l'aide d'instructeurs certifiés et expérimentés. Notre méthodologie pratique comprend des études de cas, des ateliers pratiques et des simulations d'examen sur notre plateforme ExamBoot. Et le meilleur dans tout ça, notre programme est conçu avec flexibilité pour s'adapter à votre vie professionnelle bien remplie. Pourquoi obtenir la certification CISSP? C'est simple. Bénéficier d'une reconnaissance internationale, booster vos opportunités de carrière et décrocher des postes mieux rémunérés et plus responsables. Ne manquez pas cette chance de transformer votre avenir professionnel. Inscrivez-vous dès maintenant et profitez de notre tarif spécial pour les 10 premiers inscrits avec le code promo CISSPJAN 25. Tic, tac, le temps presse. Scannez le QR code sur votre écran et inscrivez-vous dès aujourd'hui. À très bientôt.
Struggling with IT certification exams? Introducing ExamBoot, the ultimate AI-connected platform to help you succeed. With over 30,000 real-world questions from over 150 certification providers, ExamBoot gives you everything you need to prepare. It's simple. You add a certification and create as many exam simulations as you want. You are not alone. Your personal virtual coaches, Ben and Becky, are here to provide you with detailed explanations for each question in multiple languages and personalized advice throughout your preparation. Track your progress with our advanced performance dashboard. Focus on your weak areas and improve with targeted tests. Get ready to ace your next certification. ExamBoot, your path to success starts here. Visit examboot.com today.
Attachez vos ceintures. Si vous souhaitez devenir un expert en cybersécurité reconnu dans le monde entier, notre bootcamp CISSP est votre billet d'or. En un mois seulement, vous maîtriserez les 8 domaines du CISSP avec l'aide d'instructeurs certifiés et expérimentés. Notre méthodologie pratique comprend des études de cas, des ateliers pratiques et des simulations d'examen sur notre plateforme ExamBoot. Et le meilleur dans tout ça, notre programme est conçu avec flexibilité pour s'adapter à votre vie professionnelle bien remplie. Pourquoi obtenir la certification CISSP? C'est simple. Bénéficier d'une reconnaissance internationale, booster vos opportunités de carrière et décrocher des postes mieux rémunérés et plus responsables. Ne manquez pas cette chance de transformer votre avenir professionnel. Inscrivez-vous dès maintenant et profitez de notre tarif spécial pour les 10 premiers inscrits avec le code promo CISSPJAN 25. Tic, tac, le temps presse. Scannez le QR code sur votre écran et inscrivez-vous dès aujourd'hui. À très bientôt.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you also hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. So, welcome, everyone. Welcome to this 2024 EOCON. So, we are back again this month of October for this conference, IT and InfoSec conference. So, as usual, we have for you this year so many conferences.
Слава, песня для тебя. Слава, мой любимый
Ни при чем, а мы тут ни при чем. Совсем не понимаем, не знаем, что почем. А мы тут не...
Okay, we seems like having some trouble with so many Russians. So anyway, we see how to handle them. So they're still around. Sorry for the inconvenience. So I hope everyone can hear me, and it's time for us to go back. So welcome again, everyone, for this 2024 EOCON conference, and we are happy to have you here. We're happy to have you here, and we are kicking off again today with a lot of topics. we really have like many for you. So I will, without wasting time, I will introduce my colleague, Percy. Myself, it's Audrey, you know already, for those who are following us. So Percy is going to take care of the next steps, and I hope you people will enjoy staying with us and have a good time. See you. Bye-bye.
Hello, everyone. You're all welcome to the EOCON 2024. I'm glad to have each and every one of us present here today. It's actually an amazing session to have cybersecurity individuals gather just to talk about cybersecurity. We are at Eyes Open 2024, and we're going to be having amazing sessions. Kindly just welcome 1 or 2 people in the chat and just let them know that you're glad to be here. Also, let us know where you're joining from, and we'd love to also just know that you're here with us as well. A few housekeeping rules. These sessions are being recorded, and they are being broadcasted live on LinkedIn. They are broadcasted live on Twitter and YouTube. So you can actually share the Eyes Open links, the Eyes Open social media links to various individuals and have them join the various on various platforms. And also, if you have a question, if you have something you want to actually ask, we'll be taking questions at the end of every session. So we're going to allow the speaker to actually present, and at the end of every session, at the end of the presentation, we're going to read out your questions, and we're going to actually have the speakers respond to your questions. All right. Without much ado, we're going to the first to the speaker of the day. Just a minute. Before welcoming our speakers, we have people who have actually seen what we're doing and seen what Eyes Open are doing, and they actually have supported this event in one way or the other. We're talking about the official sponsors, the official partners of this event. And we want to just give a very big shout out to Exam Boot. We give a very big shout out to Afecurity, Jefona, and Africa Unique. These are the official sponsors for the Eyes Open Conference 2024. And we just give a shout out to them on social media. You can actually just appreciate them because it's because of them seeing what we're doing at Eyes Open, and they've decided to support in one way or the other. First presentation comes from Mr. Francis Holmes. Mr. Francis, how are you doing?
I'm good. What about you?
I'm okay. Mr. Francis is actually an IT security specialist from Ghana. He has over 11 years of experience in the field, and I believe that he has amazing stuff to share with us with regards to cybersecurity today. So we're just going to give Mr. Francis the floor and have you share with us, sir. You have the floor.
Okay, thank you very much. It is a pleasure to be here once again in another year. This is my 3rd year participating in this conference, and I'm very glad to be part of it. And I pray in the future that we could have organized it in a way where we can all gather in Cameroon to see each other, so that we can host it in live, being together. So, merci à tous qui nous suivent cet moment. Je vous remercie. C'est un plaisir d'être ici encore une fois. Et puis, j'ai un peu de choses à partager en l'un de cybersécurité et dans le déroulement de comment protéger les données de nos patients. So, in English, we say how to protect our patients, or protection of patient data in cybersecurity. My name is Francis Holmes Gulimpodanai. I am the CEO of Holmes IT Hub in Ghana. I'm a French tutor with Ghana Education Service, and I'm also a cybersecurity expert and a cybersecurity enthusiast. So I'm always on the cybersecurity platforms. So not wasting much time, I think we have about 11 participants that are already online, and we hope that others will also join. My session is about interaction and sharing knowledge, because nobody has it all. So we are still learning in this field. So I'm open for corrections, and also I'm open for anyone who is willing to contribute to what I'm sharing. So thank you very much. Please, can you allow me to share? Because I can't see. I'm trying to share my.
Yeah, you can just request and give you the
Yeah,
permission.
I placed the request, but they say host disable participant from sharing. So
Okay, just a minute. Yeah, I think you can request from your end and we're going to permit from here.
always trying, but trying to share, but still host disables.
Yeah, after that, I believe there's a request button. You just click on request.
There's no request. What is giving me is host disable. Then they say, okay. So I press on okay. I see only request.
Yeah,
To
click on
enable
request.
caption. Okay, send. Please, have you received?
Not yet.
I've sent the second one. I don't know if you have received it.
Okay. Just a minute, please. All right, can you send again? Please, just send again.
Still have been disabled. I don't know why.
Yeah, can you send the request again?
Sent.
All right. Haven't received yet. All right, try sharing now.
Yeah. I think it's not in.
Yeah.
Please, can you see my desktop?
Yeah.
Please, can you see my screen?
Yeah, can see your screen.
Okay. So welcome back. So this year, upon some few research that I've made in my country, Ghana, I've seen that a lot of patient data has been exposed to the internet due to data breaches. So this evening, I'm just sharing some few knowledge on how we can protect patients' data, because now cybersecurity is on the vogue and is part of our everyday activities. Now that a lot of countries and a lot of institutions are going paperless, we should also take into notice that all these systems have to be protected, because when patient data is being shared, confidentiality and other things are also compromised. So cybersecurity in the healthcare. So I have put cybersecurity under healthcare service providers. So protecting patients' information. So we know when we talk about information, it regards a lot. So I'm just doing the introduction to a significance of cybersecurity in safeguarding patients' data in the digital age, because now we are in a digital age. So in the content, we'll be looking at introduction, we'll be looking at understanding patients' privacy, cybersecurity threats in healthcare, regulators framework, best practices for cybersecurity, then incidents response planning. Then also we look at a role of the technology. Then we conclude and we go on by answering questions. So now let's see the introduction. In the introduction, I capture introduction to cybersecurity in the healthcare in the digital age. Cybersecurity has become a critical component of healthcare. Protecting patient data is not just a legal obligation, but a moral imperative. This presentation explored the importance of safeguarding patients' privacy and the role of effective cybersecurity measures in healthcare settings. So we are looking at how we should protect our patients' data in the healthcare setting. So understanding patient privacy. What we understand by patient privacy. Patient privacy refers to the right of an individual to have their personal health information kept confidential. So the hospitals that we visit, the clinic, the health centers have to keep our patient information confidential, ensuring that this privacy is vital for maintaining trust between the patient and the healthcare provider. So here, the patient and the healthcare provider are all intertwined. They are together. So violating can lead to several consequences, including loss of reputation and legal repercussions. So when there are breaches and this data not being kept confidential, we know that it can bring about legal issues, and reputation of the particular service provider is also at stake. So when we are treating cybersecurity in the healthcare, or what do we mean by cybersecurity in the healthcare? Cybersecurity in the healthcare organizations face numerous cyber threats. So when we are talking about the healthcare providers, they face numerous cybersecurity threats. For example, we have the ransomware attack, we have the data breach, we have the phishing scam. We have this threat. These threats can compromise sensitive patient information, dispute health services. Understanding the risk is crucial for development of robust defense strategy. So if we are able to understand the importance of cybersecurity in the healthcare, it will be able to help us to be able to develop a good strategy that we can use to protect this data. For example, when we take ransomware attack, for example, if a system or a healthcare is attacked by a ransomware attacks, all the data of these particular patients that have visited this particular institution or healthcare center is at risk. And when we talk about patients' data, it's about their names, their medical history, their diagnosis. All these things are very important because some of these people, some of them are public figures, or some of them hold public status. So when these breaches or this attack is being happened, it disturbed these patients that think that their information is supposed to be kept private. Now it gets into the public domain, and there's a data breach. And some of these perpetrators use this thing to extort money from these people, because when they get hold of this data, they try to what? Extort money from them. So when we are able to understand these attacks, for example, when we are talking about DDoS, where they take a whole attacks on a particular sector of this organization, and if it happens, the hospital itself or this service provider may lose a lot of reputation, because the media is going to come in, they are going to be caught, legal issues that will be raising. So when we are able to understand the risk, or why cybersecurity is very necessary in healthcare, it will be able to provide the necessary outline or segment for us to see how we can be able to protect this data from getting into the wrong hands. Now, let's look at some of the frameworks. There are a lot of frameworks or regulated bodies that are out there that can be able to help us protect this data. So in various regulated frameworks, such as the HIPAA in the United States, so when we take countries in like US, cybersecurity frameworks are well developed over there. So, but when we come to our continent, like in Africa, especially when I narrow it into my country, Ghana, we are now trying to develop a system that can be able to help us. We are now trying to digitize the whole health sector, whereby now we call something paperless system, where you don't need to hold folders from one way to the other. And I know the government of Ghana, under the Cybersecurity Act, has done a lot to be able to regulate this sector, but still there are a lot to do. So when we take some of these compliances that the regulator are supposed to get or supposed to have, there's a demand on the strict guideline for protecting patients' information. When you go to the US, it is there. So when there's a data breach, the company that is not able to protect this data has a lot to do. So compliance with this regulation is essential for the safeguarding of patients' privacy, avoiding the HIP fines. Organizations must stay informed about evaluating legal requirements. So every service provider or every health service provider must make sure it complies with these health service providers. For example, we have the HIPAA, which is the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act in the US. But we can look on this and adapt to it in our various countries. Then we have the HITECH, which is the Health Information Technology for Economic and Clinical Health. This also help. They also have a lot of setup or a lot of regulation that will help us to be able to what? Do a lot in the sector that we have. We that are now emerging, we that are now going through this transformation, we can adapt some of this institution, their frameworks, to be able to guide ourselves in everything that we do. So when we take another institution like the National Institute of Standard and Technology Guidelines, this also, it is an institution in the US that has a lot of frameworks that can help us to be able to regularize the protection of patient data. So when we, for example, we get to the Data Act, how it's supposed to be protected, they are all there. So we can extract information from here to be able to build a regular framework that can help us to be able to protect our patients' information. So now let's look at the role of technology in healthcare providing. Now we know that when it comes to technology, now we are in an era of AI, whereby all institutions are trying to migrate from the manual to the digital aspect. So information now is very easy to access at every point in time. So for technology, we are looking at emerging technologies such as encrypting, which may help us to protect patients' data in case we are using digitization, or in case we are using a paperless or a system where patients are supposed to protect their data in and out of our jurisdiction. For example, when you come to our setup in Ghana, now from the pharmacy to the OPD, to the consulting room, to the lab, they are networked. So they share sensitive information together so that doctors can be able to attend to patients at every point of time. So when we try to use technology like encrypting, it helps us to protect patients' data. When we use technology like artificial intelligence, which is able to help us to be able to segregate data and able to be able also to enhance and protect the data that we are using. So we are looking at another like blockchain that can also enhance cybersecurity in healthcare. So when we look at artificial intelligence, encrypting, blockchain, when we use this in the healthcare sector, it will be able to help us protect patients' data. So these tools help protect sensitive information and also improve the overall security posture of a healthcare organization, making them more resilient against cyber threats. So as a provider or as a healthcare provider, you have to look at these tools and be able to use it adequately so that you can be able to what? Protect your patient's data. So now, in conclusion, or not to cut it short, in conclusion, there's a call to action. The call to action is what? Safeguarding patients' privacy is a shared responsibility that requires commitment for all stakeholders in the healthcare sector by prioritizing cybersecurity measures and fostering a culture of awareness. We can protect sensitive data and maintain the trust of our patient. So when it comes to a call of action, we are all involved. One, there should be regular backups. Two, there should be staff training all the time so that staff should be abreast with cybersecurity in the healthcare. So all healthcare service providers must train their staffs on cybersecurity every day, and they must be apt and doing so that they can be able to protect their patients' data. And in so doing, this call of action is going to help us as a nation, as a continent, as individuals, so that we can be able to protect our patients' data. Because whenever that they come, this data that they have entrusted in us supposed to be protected very well so that there may not be any data breach in the future. So thank you very much for my short presentation. So I am open for questions and contributions. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Holmes. I mean, it was an amazing presentation. So we're just going to go straight to questions. Are there questions from the participants? Do we have questions? I have questions of my own, so I'll be asking mine, but I'd love, if you have a question, you can type it up in the chat box. while we're waiting for them to type, my first question I wanted to ask was, are there any laws, Mr. Holmes, that with regards to patients' data in the healthcare facility, in the healthcare center? Are there any laws that govern patients' data and all that?
Yes, when we take the in Ghana, in my country we have the Data Protection Act, okay, which is an act of parliament, which is also part of our constitution, which protects, you must protect every data that you get from someone. So whether you are a hospital, whether you are a third-party service provider, there is an act that regulates that this data that they are giving to you must be protected. Unless if you want to use it, you should get a consent from the person that you are using his data, and it must be approved. So when we take the act, it's a book, I can't go into it, but the act has spelled out all the measures that you should take and how you should treat patients' data. For example, you have a patient that has walked into your facility and you have diagnosed the person of HIV. We know that HIV is one of the deadliest diseases or incurable diseases now. Or I know there are measures that we can be able to, take the patients through a lot of protection. But when the person, or you have realized that this person is diagnosed of HIV, then this person's data is becoming very sensitive. So the person, you have to protect the data, because when this data gets out of coverage, it's going to harm this patient that has come. So the person must be taken through all the necessary measures. And as I've already said, there are regulators in the data sector. So I don't know which country you are, but when you come to my country, Ghana, we have laws that regulate this patient's data according to the Data Protection Act.
All right. Thank you very much. So it's also good to know that we have these laws, and it actually helps govern the various data and information which healthcare facilities hold concerning their patients. Now, another thing which I wanted to verify was if there are laws, specific laws that demand health facilities to actually perform audits concerning their databases, and their security measures too, because it's one thing to have the laws and it's another thing to actually have a body that checks to make sure that these health facilities maintain the standard that is required to actually safeguard individuals' personal information.
Yeah, as I said, I've mentioned in my slides 2 or 3 international bodies that are there. Let me see. Yes. So we have the HIPAA, which is the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, but this is specific to the US.
Okay.
Then we have the HICTECH, which is also Health Information Technology for Economic and Clinical Health. Then we have the International Institute of Standard and Technology Guidance. So far as they are into database, or they are going to take people's data, yes, there are bodies that regulate them. For example, when you come to Ghana, we have the Cybersecurity unit, which from time to time, we have the Data Protection Act. From time to time, we have other frameworks. For example, I'm part of the Institute of IT Professional Ghana, which also come out with all these measures so that this data that we get from these health facilities get from their patients are well kept. So they are regulating bodies that goes according to and according from. So these few ones, there are numerous ones depending on your localization. Maybe in Cameroon, you may have a body that is in charge of regulating all these things. But when you come to Ghana, we have bodies that regulate this. So we have the Data Protection Act, we have the Cybersecurity Unit, we have the Legal Protection Act and patients, and we have also the Consumer Regulating Act, which is also there that take care of all those patient data regulation to make sure that all the time these health care providers are up to date. So when you come, we have the Ghana Medical Association, we have the Ghana Physician Association, we have also the Pharmacy Association, and these are all networked so that the regulator will come from time to time to check that all data of patients are being regulated and are well protected.
Okay, so we also have Mark, who is coming to say that we have the ISO standard governing protection of health information. That is the ISO 27799.
2000, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm still waiting for questions. We're going to be wrapping up with the questions. I have about 2 more. I actually wrote them up in the chat box. Can you share examples of successful cybersecurity initiatives in healthcare organizations? So you mentioned how important it is. What are cybersecurity initiatives which have been taken with regards to the healthcare organizations?
Yeah, when a cybersecurity initiative, for example, I always, because I'm in Ghana, I always want to put things into perspective in my country. For example, now in my country, we have something that we call e-health. Okay, e-health is a paperless system where you can go to the hospital without you having to carry any paper, any folder. The folder is where they keep your medical history. So you just walk into the facility with your ID, then they key you in your ID, you go through the consultation, then from there, if you're supposed to go for you go to the OPD where your vitals are being taken and all those things, then they ask you to go to the consulting room where you are being diagnosed. If it is a lab, you just walk to the lab with your ID. They got into that. So the government has made it in such a way that we have a data center that regulates all this information. Okay, we have a data center that NITA that regulates it. We have the cybersecurity unit to make sure that before you can take you can indulge in this activity, they will come and inspect your facility, make sure that you have a good IT professionals who are good in data encryptions, who are good in cybersecurity, who are good to protect database, who can put firewalls and all these things onto place so that when the attack is coming, they can be able to detect it and do prevention. That is why I also give out the cybersecurity response planning.
Yeah.
Because you have to have that. You have to have the cybersecurity response planning, which will enable you that in case of a cyber attack, you can be able to respond positively to this attack.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much. Obia has a question. I hope it's a question. It says, does the laws relate with the African Union Convention on Cybersecurity and Personal Data Protection? Are there some criminal cases in Ghana on attacks on healthcare services? So I think there are 2 questions. Does the laws relate with African Union Convention on Cybersecurity and Personal Data Protection? And the second question says, are there some criminal cases in Ghana on attacks on healthcare services?
Yes, let me take the first one. You know that as African countries, we have something in common. So everything that we do is via through our intercontinental agreements and trade. So far as Ghana is part of the African countries, and I think that we form part of those that have elaborated that cybersecurity act, because when you see on the continent, when it comes to cybersecurity, Ghana is very ahead in time because we have a full cybersecurity unit under the government of Ghana that operates. So it's in line with the same measures, because but some of these laws we pick it from other jurisdictions. We pick it from other jurisdictions that enable, like the iOS that the person has mentioned, is a governing body that cut across. So far as you are in this sector, you must comply with all these rules and regulations. So the second one is that if Ghana has been, or there have been crimes, yes, there have been crimes, but I can't outline all of them. Yes, there are several times people come with misinformation because they've gotten a database and they recraft it in such a way, they come out that this person is sick of this and this and that. But when you go through and everything, you got to know that it's misinformation. So yes, they are. So so far as we have cybersecurity, and so far as people every day are in competition, and people every day are trying to do things, really, the government also and other people suffer such things in my country as well.
All right. I believe, Obia, you've had the answer to your question. Nana says, what measures are cybersecurity agents in Ghana taking to improve on patient data when it comes to the private health sectors that are still using physical folders? So we have approximately 5 to 7 more minutes for questions. If you have more questions, if you have any question, you drop it now so that he just answers all. And if he's not able to answer within that frame of time, he's going to drop his LinkedIn handle. You can actually connect with him and ask your questions. So to take the question again, what measures are the cybersecurity agencies in Ghana taking to improve on patient data when it comes to the private health sectors that are still using physical folders? Over to you, Holmes.
Okay, thank you, Nana. Nana is a health practitioner in Ghana. Thank you very much. Yes, the cybersecurity unit and the government of Ghana has started a framework where they are enrolling gradually a lot of facilities into this digital system. For example, if you take, we have a LIM system, where now when you go to all government institution or all government hospital, it's a paperless system. So some of the private hospitals that I also know have also taken the initiative. Where I reside in Ghana, I know a Catholic hospital who is a private hospital but has a paperless system, who is also working hard to protect their data. So when it comes to this implementation, it's a gradual process. So the government has started with the government sector and gradually is going to spread to the private. But I urge more private clinics or private health practitioners to contact the cybersecurity unit and also or get in touch with the cybersecurity experts if they want to enroll such system in their facility. For example, my company, we do health management system where we deploy for you. You are able to manage, we secure you, you are able to do all your networking within a local jurisdiction. So if there are healthcare facility that need such system in Ghana, they can reach out to Holmes IT Hub. Then we develop a health management system for them. Then they can do away with the folder system.
All right, Nana, I hope your question has been answered. Nana says, thank you. So I have one more question, Mr. Holmes. What are the emerging threats and challenges in the healthcare cybersecurity policy? So what are the emerging trends and challenges in healthcare cybersecurity policy?
Yes, the emerging trends and challenges are, now because of the AI, because of the lot of the AI tools that we have, people are able to bypass a lot of regulations, or they are able to bypass a lot of systems based on the AI system that is now employed. So these are future generation. For example, when it comes to labs, people do cloning, and a whole lot of things that are now generating a lot of problem in the healthcare sector. But I think measures are being put in place. For example, when it comes to the regulator bodies, I know they are working very hard so that all these hospitals and facilities that are using this system have experts, and they also have a cybersecurity response plan, and they also update and both their hardwares and softwares, and they also make sure that their personnel are well trained to face these challenges that are emerging in the sector. Any other question? Hello? Any other question?
Sorry, okay, I was actually mute. So thank you. We have one more question. I think we're going to take this and wrap up. Obia asks that in Zambia, there is a protein alliance between the state and cybersecurity organizations. What's the situation in Ghana in the emerging menace of AI in the healthcare sector?
Yes, there is also the same combination between the government and all stakeholders, because we know that so far as you are using applications and so far as you are enrolling into digitization, it may come with its own inconveniences. So the government is building up the response system. There are a lot of communication that are going, and there are a lot of education that are going out. I myself, for the past 2 years, I've been doing cybersecurity awareness on the radio. I've been talking about all these things for the people of Ghana to hear and to know that, yes, we are at the era where we are supposed to protect ourselves. We are at the era where we are supposed to protect our information and our images. So there is a lot that is going on in this sector. And, you know, we are in the cybersecurity month, so the government has enrolled a lot of activities, including both the health sector and other sectors like the banking sector, the transportation sector, the aviation sector, and all other things. So they are trying their best to be able to be on the top of the matters. But I am open. Also, I take this opportunity to say that I am open, willing to learn, willing to collaborate with any other African country so that we build a robust system for Africa. That is what we are looking at. So if Zambia has more that we think we can share together, you should feel free and pick my line and communicate so that we can learn and also patch up with all the other things that maybe we are not having and they have. So we can learn from each other.
Okay, I believe that's one of the essence of actually having this conference and having amazing speakers like you share on these very important topics. So I believe all the questions have been answered. Most, if not all of the questions have been answered. I want to thank you again very much, Mr. Holmes, for this amazing presentation. We're going to have some musical interlude before the next speaker comes up. So you're just going to stay, listen to the watch the video, which is going to be played, and the next speaker is going to come up and meet a bit shortly after.
Okay, thank you very much, my host. Nice being with you people this year too. But my friend from Zambia, I'm ready. If you want me to come to Zambia and work, I'm ready. Anybody hearing me from any part of Africa, I'm ready. So let's link up and build a better Africa for ourselves.
Yeah, so I have actually just dropped Mr. Holmes' LinkedIn profile in the chat box. You can actually connect with him on LinkedIn, and actually, like he said, he's ready to connect and actually work with anyone who is also willing to. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
All right. We're going to be having the next speaker shortly. Before he comes up, I would like each and every one of us to actually just watch the video that is going to be played shortly. So, Mr. Holmes, can you stop sharing?
Okay. So, thanks.
Certification providers. ExamBoot gives you everything you need. It's simple. You add a certification, exam simulations as you want. You are not alone. Your personal virtual coaches, Ben and Becky, are here to provide you with detailed explanations for each question in multiple languages and personalized advice throughout your preparation. Track your progress with our advanced performance dashboard. Focus on your weak areas and improve with targeted tests. Get ready to ace your next certification. ExamBoot, your path to success starts here. Visit examboot.com today.
Is that?
I wanted to ask more questions, but your time was up.
So the questions you have now, you can ask me.
Si vous souhaitez devenir un expert en cybersécurité reconnu dans le monde entier, notre bootcamp CISSP est votre billet d'or. En un mois seulement, vous maîtriserez les 8 domaines du CISSP avec l'aide d'instructeurs certifiés et expérimentés. Notre méthodologie pratique comprend des études de cas, des ateliers pratiques et des simulations d'examen sur notre plateforme ExamBoot. Et le meilleur dans tout ça, notre programme est conçu avec flexibilité pour s'adapter à votre vie professionnelle bien remplie. Pourquoi obtenir la certification CISSP? C'est simple, bénéficier d'une reconnaissance internationale, booster vos opportunités de carrière et décrocher des postes mieux rémunérés et plus responsables. Ne manquez pas cette chance de transformer votre avenir professionnel. Inscrivez-vous dès maintenant et profitez de notre tarif spécial pour les 10. Le code promo CISSP JAN 25. Tic, tac, le temps presse. Scannez le QR code sur votre écran et inscrivez-vous dès aujourd'hui. À très bientôt.
Struggling with IT certification exams? Introducing ExamBoot, the ultimate AI-connected platform to help you succeed. With over 30,000 real-world questions from over 150 certification providers, ExamBoot gives you everything you need to prepare. It's simple. You add a certification and create as many exam simulations as you want. You are not alone. Your personal virtual coaches, Ben and Becky, are here to provide you with detailed explanations for each question in multiple languages and personalized advice throughout your preparation. Track your progress with our advanced performance dashboard. Focus on your weak areas. Get ready to ace your next certification. ExamBoot, your path to success starts here. Visit examboot.com today.
Attachez vos ceintures. Si vous souhaitez devenir un expert en cybersécurité reconnu dans le monde entier, notre bootcamp CISSP est votre billet d'or. En un mois seulement, vous maîtriserez les 8 domaines du CISSP avec l'aide d'instructeurs certifiés et expérimentés. Notre méthodologie pratique comprend des études de cas, des ateliers pratiques et des simulations d'examen sur notre plateforme ExamBoot. Et le meilleur dans tout ça, notre programme est conçu avec flexibilité pour s'adapter à votre vie professionnelle bien remplie. Pourquoi obtenir la certification CISSP? C'est simple. Bénéficier d'une reconnaissance internationale, booster vos opportunités de carrière et décrocher des postes mieux rémunérés et plus responsables. Ne manquez pas cette chance de transformer votre avenir professionnel. Inscrivez-vous dès maintenant et profitez de notre tarif spécial pour les 10 premiers inscrits avec le code promo CISSPJAN 25. TIC. Tac, le temps presse. Scannez le QR code sur votre écran et inscrivez-vous dès aujourd'hui. À très bientôt.
Struggling with IT certification exams? Introducing ExamBoot, the ultimate AI-connected platform to help you succeed. With over 30,000 real-world questions from over 150 certification providers, ExamBoot gives you everything you need to prepare. It's simple. You add a certification and create as many exam simulations as you want. you are not alone. Your personal virtual coaches, Ben and Becky, are here to provide you with detailed explanations for each question in multiple languages and personalized advice throughout your preparation. Track your progress with our advanced performance guides.
Qui vous CISSP est votre billet d'or. En un les 8 domaines du CISSP avec l'aide d'instructeurs certifiés et expérimentés. Notre méthodologie pratique comprend des études de cas, des ateliers pratiques et des simulations d'examen sur notre plateforme ExamBoot. Et le meilleur dans tout ça, notre programme est conçu avec flexibilité pour s'adapter à votre vie professionnelle bien remplie. Pourquoi obtenir la certification CISSP? C'est simple. Bénéficier d'une reconnaissance internationale, booster vos opportunités de carrière et décrocher des postes mieux rémunérés et plus responsables. Ne manquez pas cette chance de transformer votre avenir professionnel. Inscrivez-vous dès maintenant et profitez de notre tarif spécial pour les 10 premiers inscrits avec le code promo CISSPJAN 25. Tic, tac, le temps presse. Scannez le QR code sur votre écran et inscrivez-vous dès aujourd'hui. À très bientôt.
Good evening, good day to everyone, depending on where you're joining from. I hope we are all okay. We've just had the first presentations for the ISO Open Cybersecurity Conference, and we're going to be moving to the second. I believe we've had a lot to learn. I believe we've also been able to connect and meet new people. So just a few housekeeping rules. Like I stated earlier, the session is being recorded, and I believe the recordings will be made available as soon as possible. We also have it being streamed on various social medias, LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube. You can actually share these links to your networks. You can share it with your colleagues at work and everyone, and have them join. I believe the next session is also going to be very powerful. Once more, we want to give a big shout out to our our sponsors for this event. Like we said, this is able to happen because of the efforts of some people who have actually seen what Eyes Open is doing and are willing to actually support and sponsor this event. Our official sponsors, Exam Boot, we are grateful, Security, Jeffona, and Africa Unique. I mean, these are give them a shout out on LinkedIn, on Twitter. In fact, if you know them personally, just shake their hand, right? Anytime you meet them. You can also, if you have any questions, you have anything you want to ask the speakers, you can actually chat it up in the chat box, and they're going to respond as soon as they are done with their presentation. Now, our next presentation is a bit more technical, and I believe it's going to be very interesting. The first speaker actually mentioned it, but it was just kind of a passerby. The influence artificial intelligence is having on the healthcare facilities or healthcare domain. And we're going to be having an amazing guy who is coming to tell us about AI-powered cybersecurity threats and how it's affecting companies and how companies can stay ahead of these AI-powered cybersecurity threats. So it's not just going to, I think it's also going to encompass the healthcare domain, as the first speaker rightly mentioned. So this speaker of ours, uh, he's coming all the way from Nigeria, right? I mean, like I said, we have speakers from all over. The first one spoke from Ghana, and this one is coming all the way from Nigeria, and he's going to be speaking on the rise of AI-powered cybersecurity threats, how companies can stay ahead of the curve. And without any more wastage of time, please would like to welcome Akintoye Christopher. Akintoye, let me just unmute you.
Okay. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing great.
All right, so we're going to give you the floor now, and you can go ahead to present. Are you okay? Are you able to present?
Check it. All right, I think I am. Okay. Just a minute.
Is it possible for you to have your camera on too?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. All right.
Sorry, just a minute, please.
Okay. What Akintoye is doing is getting set. I'm just going to read who Akintoye is. I'm just going to let you know who he is. He's actually a dedicated cybersecurity professional with a focus on information security and cloud security. He's doing a lot with regards to cloud security as well. He has a few certifications to his name. I mean, he's also someone who is so delved into secure certifications, and he's been able to take a few of them. As an information security analyst at the State Information Technology Agency, he actively contributes to the safeguarding digital environments, and his passion for mentoring future cybersecurity experts drives his involvement as a cybersecurity head or lead at Inventors Community. All right, I believe you're up now.
Okay.
Yeah, we can see your screen.
Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
All right, just trying to place everything in good check.
Okay.
All right, so yeah, yeah. Yeah, sorry. It says you stopped my video sharing.
Can
Hello,
you
are you
try?
there?
Yeah, try again once more. I didn't do that.
They're still saying that.
Okay, just a minute. All right, try sharing one more.
Yeah, it's still saying that.
All right, can you request for permission?
I don't think it's allowing me to request for permission. It's not allowing me to request for permission.
You should be able to share. It's actually okay to share.
I can't share my video. I can just present. I can't
Okay,
turn on my
your
video.
video. Oh,
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
all right. Can you try your video now?
Let's see. Okay, I think, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, are we good?
Yeah.
All right. So, good evening, everyone, or let's say good morning or good afternoon. I'm Christopher, and I'm really excited to be here today, actually. Now, I know it's kind of like a bit early. I don't know if it's a bit early to start with technicalities, but don't worry, I wouldn't hit us much with technicalities. So yeah, as the host rightly said, I work as an information security and compliance associate at Vera Africa, and I have a deep passion for cybersecurity and artificial intelligence, which, to be very honest, is just a fancy way of saying I'm paranoid about keeping bad guys out of networks. Yeah. So, uh, aside my work profession, I also co-founded MedPro, an AI-powered application for pharmacy delivery and medical services. So I'm actually trying to implement so many features, but don't worry, would all be needed on what is next. So on the academic side, I hold certifications in security from Fortinet and then IT entrepreneurial studies from Draper University, California. Today, um, I'm here to talk about how AI, how artificial intelligence is shaking the cybersecurity world. So let's begin. I'm sure everyone can hear me clearly, yeah? Okay. Sorry to the host, you turned off my sharing. I can't share my screen. Yeah, Audrey, I can't share my screen any longer. Okay. So can we all see my screen?
Yeah, we can see your screen.
Okay, so yeah, like I said, I'll be talking about how AI is shaping the cybersecurity world and how companies can can stay ahead of this curve. So let's get to it. So when we talk about the AI powered threats, we are really talking about sophisticated, faster, and other attacks. So now let's compare it. Let's compare it to this. Now, in normal world, in the world where we are, just as we have the civilians, we have the military. Now let's take it like this: the civilians are we normal people, while the military are no, let's say it like this: the civilians are the people that use the internet, while the military are the cybersecurity people. So now, so far so good. We've all been hearing news about terrorism, that's bombing here and there. So let's take the bombing and the terrorism attacks as sophisticated attacks. So yeah, that's just a little comparison. So let's imagine an hacker, but instead of a person sitting behind a screen and typing furiously, it's an AI algorithm that is learning and improving in real time. It's like a real-time improvement. So this AI doesn't need to take breaks, it doesn't need to make mistakes, and it is constantly like getting better, like I said, improving on the job. So let's take AI powered phishing, for instance. On the norms, I'm sure most of us here are familiar with traditional phishing, where links are shared to steal sensitive information. So let's say we have www.facebook.com. Now, Facebook is spelled with two O. Now, a traditional phishing attack would have three O's. Yeah. Now, this traditional phishing is kind of hard, or let me say it was kind of hard to detect. And why is because most users of the internet don't pay attention to the URLs. Once a person shares a link, what they are after is just to get out the result. Let's say I share a link to Audrey saying, okay, he won 50,000 naira, and he has to click a link, and the link says www.facebook.com. Now, what is on Audrey's mind is the 50,000. He is not bothered about anything. He's not bothered about if he can be attacked or if his information can be stolen. So he clicks the link, and then boom, his credentials are stolen because he has to log in his Facebook. So that's actually the traditional phishing. Now, as time evolved, AI kind of like evolved phishing. Now, I know we've also heard about phishing emails, where instead of the traditional sending links, I send an email to Audrey posing as a normal guy, and then Audrey clicks the link, and from there. Now, with AI, emails, let me say phishing emails, they are now more personalized, and they tend to mimic the tone of people you know. So they are built based on algorithms that are based on data they gathered from different people, and tend to make it mimic the tone and writing style of people. So you would I'm sure if someone poses as a CEO of a company and sends you an AI generated phishing email, I swear that most of us would say, would believe it, would take it for true that okay, this is the CEO. I send him in this email asking for sensitive data, whereas it's not him. So that is just one example, and how AI is rapidly moving. Like I said, yeah, it says AI has quickly become a game changer in cybersecurity, in as much as it's it is used to attack, it is also used to respond to attacks more effectively than humans. Yeah. So so far so good. From over time, like I said earlier, we had traditional phishing. That's where a random person just writes out what he can get from his head and then send it to a person. So that's just the first part of cyber threat. So in 2015, that was when AI assisted phishing attacks emerged. Though it was not really variant, because as at 2015, in fact, a large number of us have not even heard of artificial intelligence. So it's kind of the people that were into the space that knew that, okay, this is below the normal attack. This is not like the normal attack. So moving on to 2018, AI started getting used in malware development. So instead of people sitting down to write scripts to create viruses, to create malware, to create bombs, they just designed algorithms that would help them do whatever is asked to do. And from there is moved on to the deep fake technology. I'm sure most of us have heard of deep fake technology. It's actually mostly used in fraud and identity theft. So we'll get into that in the course of the study. So yeah, we have three major types of AI-powered threats. The first one is AI-based phishing. So like I explained before, is not the same with traditional phishing. A traditional phishing is written by an by an human, and a human being can I would say AIs are smarter than us, or we are smarter than AI. But let's just leave that discussion for another time. So AI generates more convincing phishing emails. I'm sure most of us use ChatGPT, and let's say probably after this class, I'm not advising us to try it, because it won't get us anywhere. So let's say let me use this. Let's say I want to steal Audrey's money, and Audrey, I don't want you to feel like if I write it myself, definitely there would be a human being cannot be so perfect. Yeah, fine. AIs are not perfect at times, but then they are trained on particular large data sets that tends to get them to a 90% scale, like a pass mark. So it's definitely true that AI can generate more convincing phishing emails by mimicking real communication patterns. So this is how it works. An hacker who wants to generate an AI-based phishing tends to do a backdated research on his clients. So let's say I'm taking on Audrey. Now, an hacker would have gone to Audrey, see how Audrey emails are constructed, see his tone, look at his writing style, and then this AI-based phishing software generates a more similar style to Audrey's style, making it easier to trick victims into clicking malicious links and then stealing sensitive information. So the next AI-powered threat we have is ransomware. Now, ransomware. I'm sure most all of us, in fact, all of us have heard, even if we've not been attacked by a ransomware before, we've all seen a ransomware, or we've all heard of ransomware. So yeah, a traditional ransomware is just where a person tends to encrypt a user or a company's data and asking for money in order to decrypt it. Now, on a more serious note, when these things are done, the hackers might not have a mode to decrypt this data. It's just a way to, should I say, blackmail. It's just a way to get them to drop their money that, okay, your data are encrypted. Once you drop this amount of money, your data will be decrypted. So these things actually evolved, and that was where we now had AI ransomware. So this AI tends to automate a ransomware allowing cyber criminals to scale attacks faster and avoid detection. Now, if it were to be a normal ransomware written by an human, you would know an human would write scripts. You tend to sit down for 3 months, 6 months, a year, writing scripts, programming it to encrypt particular type of data. But with AI, it can be done seamlessly. I can just generate a particular algorithm, and with AI that tends to encrypt the particular data of Audrey, and boom, I send it to him, or he clicks a file and his data are encrypted. So moving on, we actually have deepfakes. But like I said, I will touch that in the course of the learning journey. So deepfakes is just like AI creating realistic, not just fake videos or audios, realistic, emphasis on the realistic fake videos or audios, often impersonating executives or key figures, enabling fraud and identity theft. So let's say, uh, let's say, let's say Audrey is the CEO of the company. Yeah, he's the CEO of ICE Open Association. And me, I'm just a normal guy, a normal hacker. And I know that Audrey has access to the company's money, or the company's financial system. Now, I would create an algorithm that tends to create a fake video of, or a fake audio of Audrey. Now, let's say Audrey is now before. Let's say this is a company. Let's say company. This is a company. Let's call the company the Eyes Open Company. Now, before money goes out of the company, they tend to call the CEO that, okay, you have to approve it. Is this coming from you? Is this coming from you? Is this doing this from you? Now, and me, Chris, I'm just the ordinary guy, just a normal hacker, and I want to get money out of the company. And I know that I can't tend to call the CEO and start asking him to release money. Definitely, I'm an hacker. He wouldn't succumb to my threat. So what I just do is I just use an AI to create a realistic fake video call or an audio. Now, when I call the, let's say, customer care that, okay, I'm requesting for, let's say, $50 million. Now, the customer care now tends to route the call to the CEO. Now, because I know that definitely the customer care will route the call to the CEO, I've taken over the company's network. And now, instead of routing the call to the company's CEO, is routing the call to the fake company CEO, which is the deep fake. Now, when the person picks it, it mimics his voice, it mimics how he talks, it mimics how he says words, and then he drops whatever information is needed. That's how AI, that's how deepfakes works. So yeah, we also have autonomous hacking. So, like I said in the introduction, an hacker is generally a person that sits down and types furiously, writing scripts to gain access into a system. Now, with the use of AI, or let me say AI can actually independently identify and exploit system and vulnerabilities. Now, if we are to take a deep look at vulnerability assessment, there are actually some tools. Let me use the Sync tool as an example. Now, on a traditional vulnerability assessment style, like in the old days, a person or a developer or an hacker, a cybersecurity professional tends to sit down, scan through codes to see where you can find vulnerabilities. Then he tends to cover the tracks. But now, you would see a tool. You would see a normal security guy who is given a job. Maybe he's told to check the vulnerability of a system. Now, instead of sitting down and doing running script for 10 hours or 50 hours, he can just connect the code base to an AI system, and then the AI system tends to find the vulnerability in like splits of a second. So just as we have AI that protects against vulnerability, we also have AI that can independently identify and exploit. Now, I said this sync AI system is to identify and protect. Now, this one, it identifies and exploits the vulnerabilities without any armed intervention. So it tends to make attacks faster and harder to prevent. So the next one is the AI powered denial of service attacks. Now, we all know denial of service attacks. That's where a system or a website or an application tends to be loaded with traffic. So you can see that now, if we were to create a normal traditional denial of service attack, I can have like up to 10 guys. 10 guys. I tell everybody to bring out your system. Now let's up onto your command prompt and write so script targeting this website IP address to take it down. Now that's a denial of service attack. Now, if it were to be, now this is a normal denial of service attack, not an AI based, because it had to deal with so many humans. If I want to take down a system, I can't be the only one to take down a system. I have to have teammates, have to have like up to 500 guys for it to take down the system in splits of seconds. Yeah, but AI has evolved, or attacks have evolved with the use of AI, where AI models are created to load systems more faster and have a seamless operation, making them much harder to defend against. But yeah, amidst all these AI cyber threats, the way they are defended, we've actually had a notable AI cyber attack in the past. So yeah, in 2019, there was a particular malware that was centered on banking systems. So the malware leveraged AI to evolve from a banking trojan into a multi-threat. So using this AI, the name of the malware, was Emotet. So using this AI, Emotet bypassed the security differences, studied email patterns. Now, I'm sure most of us have watched this movie, The $1 Billion Heist. Now, The $1 Billion Heist, when they said the hackers or the attackers used about a year to formulate their plan before they can even be able to bypass security and do this. They used 1 year to plan for a 3 days attack. Now, this malware used AI. They integrated AI into the malware, so it would bypass security differences as fast as possible, and it studied email patterns, like I said earlier, enabling it to send highly personalized phishing emails. Now, I told you that AI-powered phishing tends to mimic writing style of a person. So that was what it did. It mimics writing style, email patterns, and then it enabled it to like send highly personalized phishing emails. This attack actually, or this malware, actually made it one of like the most dangerous AI-assisted cyber attacks, because I think it was about $100 million that was stolen. And apart from the money, customers' trust were also stolen. So yeah, now we'll be going to the impact on companies. Yeah, we have three major impacts. We have three major impacts an AI-powered threats can have on company. So the first one is the financial impacts. Now, like I said, we all know when armed robbers come to a person's house and then start shooting. Definitely, if there's a large amount of money that is in the house, they take it. And what happens? The person loses the money. That's just what an AI-powered threat can do. It can have a very, very great financial impact on 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 the company. So AI-powered attacks can cause substantial financial losses, not only due to immediate damage, but also long-term costs such as recovery, fines, and damage reputations. These losses can range from millions to billions of dollars, depending on the scale of attack. Let's say I'm an hacker and I'm trying to steal money from a Binance CEO. Definitely, if I can successfully take out the Binance CEO's money, let's say $100 million, definitely it would have a huge impact on the company. It would have a really, really huge financial loss impact on the company. And the other impact it will have is operational impact. So yeah, it says AI-driven attacks often lead to extended downtime, crippling a company's ability to maintain its regular operations. So the disruption can result in delayed services, lost productivity, and decreased customer satisfaction. So yeah, definitely, if a company net worth is about $50 billion, and then because of an AI powered threat, the $50 billion is gone in a split of seconds. Definitely, the first thing they would do is to stop every operation that is going on in the company. And that would have a very huge and it would have a huge and long lasting impact on the company operationally. Because definitely if it's a company that produces and then okay, let me use Binance for an example. Binance now have to deal with sending money, keeping money. It's just like a decentralized stuff. So let's say Binance loses 80% of their finances. Definitely, Binance would have to stop its operation because number one, it's not their money, it's people's money. And for the fact that they don't even know where to see the money again, they have to just stop operation and tend to put head together. So this disruption can actually result in delayed service. Now let's take a look at there was one time, I think it was late last year, early this year, MTN had a network downturn or a network latency due to the fiber optics glitch. Now, when that thing happened, they actually reduced their business average to below 50% because definitely MTN is not functional. Most people would stop using it at that moment and tend to move from MTN to another network providing company. Thereby, this company tends to lose their operational process. So the next impact is the reputational impact. Now, let me still use the MTN as an example. So since when that stuff happened, I've been hearing reports. I've been seeing people saying, MTN is fucked up, this is not good, blah, blah, blah. Definitely, why would they say this is not good? This is because of the impact the attack or whatever breach they had on their system. So, when a business is in startup, when we have a startup business, what is on the entrepreneurial mind is how to get trust, how to build its reputation in the market, how to gain trust from the market. Now, once this kind of thing happens where you are hacked or you are attacked, your company is attacked. Now, most people would not want to. They would understand, but they would not. They would feel for you, but they would not understand because they feel that you, as a company, you should have put certain measures in place because definitely these things would happen. No system is 100% secure. No system is 100% secure. So definitely, you as a company, you are supposed to have put these things in mind that okay, definitely something like this would happen on the long run, and then you should have attacked it from the start. But see, if a company doesn't put all these things in place, they will lose trust, which can lead to long-term damage or brand image and future business relations. You can even close their business. Look at the CrowdStrike event. Most companies have lost fine, they are going back to CrowdStrike, but then they've lost interest in CrowdStrike based off the facts that it was just a mini attack that happened. So like I said, in as much as we have evolving AI threats, we have evolving AI tools. So we have most of these AI tools actually use machine learning and prediction and predictive analysis. So they work like CM. They work like CMD, security incident and event management, where they tend to monitor and identify potential threats even before they occur. So they tend to put threats modeling into acts while creating the predictive analysis tools. So example of the tool is Darkface, Vectra, Vectra and Darkface. They are example of AI tools that leverage deep learning and predictive models. Okay, so earlier on we spoke about an AI cyber attack. So we also have now AI does not only do the bad things. In as much as AI does the bad thing, AI also does the good thing. So in this case, in 2021, Google Project Zero Team, they employed AI-powered defense mechanism that quickly detected and neutralized the sophisticated denial of service attack. So the attack was Google Project Zero Team were kind of facing an attack on their system where the hacker or the attackers were loading their system with traffic. Now, when a system is being loaded with traffic, it tends to, let me use the word explosion. It tends to cause an explosion. So, as at that time, Google Project Zero Team had the AI technology in place. So with this, they actually leveraged on the technology, and then the system processed the vast amount of data that were entering, the inflow data, and it responded in real time, preventing significant downtime and operational disruptions. So now I know most people would feel like, okay, because there's AI and now AI can defend, AI can do this, AI can do that. They tend to not put certain measures in place, thereby making common mistakes. So now let me use an human being as an example. So I've seen cases where students tend to use ChatGPT, the normal ChatGPT, to create cover letters and application for jobs and all. Now they feel ChatGPT is fine. ChatGPT is perfect. It's right. It tends to give a particular tone you want, but then you can't always be too robots like. You see when you tell ChatGPT that okay, write me a cover letter for this job. Now most people feel that okay, this is very perfect, and then they just copy and paste it on the company's page. Meanwhile, they don't know that these companies that they are applying to or applying for tend to have an AI checking system where they tend to know which cover letter is AI generated, and they are not given the job, they are not offered the job. So these are common mistakes humans make in using artificial intelligence. So common mistakes companies make is number one, understanding AI threats. Now, most companies, let me say some companies, some organizations, they still perceive AI-driven cyber threats as distant. So fine, AI is all about the news. Elon Musk doing so well with his artificial intelligence technologies. Now, if I tell you that most companies still feel like artificial intelligence is in the future, and they don't know that we are in the future already. They don't know. So they still feel the future is like in the next 10 years, the next 15 years. So they don't want to understand the AI threats that are posing or that are being posed upon their companies because they believe that they are distant, thereby they are delaying the critical security that can be put in put in place before these things comes uh, to them. So in a car, we have the airbag. Now the people that manufacture the car, they knows that definitely a person cannot always have a smooth ride. So they kept something that okay, once there is a collision, this thing comes out and then protects the person. Now, the people that did those things, they perceived that okay, an accident would happen, or they perceived that accidents would definitely happen in the future, thereby putting these um, putting these measures in place for people. But some companies don't want to. They don't want to. They still operate out of ignorance, thereby leaving their system exposed. That's one common mistake companies make. The second mistake companies make is lack of employee training. So this lack of employee training is what we should majorly emphasize about because the greatest error that can ever happen is from humans. Humans are the greatest. Are the one that can make the greatest error. So without continuous employee education, companies tend to remain vulnerable. Like I said, as human error plays a significant role in breaches. So I don't know if we had, I think around 2020, 2021, Uber, yeah, I know we all know of Uber, the driving platform. So Uber was faced with a particular breach. Now, this breach was posed by an employee. Now, the employee was not aware that this kind of things happen. Now, the guy was just about 18 years of age. He just texted the employee and told her to submit her details and this. Now, the employee feeling that it's a normal customer or feeling that is normal, she dropped these details or she clicked the link and then from there, boom, Uber's data about, I think about, it was literally all Australian data that were stolen. Now, this attack that happened can actually be uh, protected if there had been an employee training, an employee are like advised or thoughts about okay, this is how phishing attack works. When someone sends you a link, don't just click it. Tend to make checks very well. Check the URL. Do this, do that. Don't provide sensitive information to this. But no, most companies feel when they provide when they provide training to the employee, they feel like they are doing the employee a favor. Meanwhile, they don't want that. Meanwhile, they don't know that they are doing their company a favor because definitely if you are supposed to use a budget of let's say $1,000 to run a training, so to run employee training, and you don't do it because you feel $1,000 is too much to invest on the people that works for you, and then you leave it, and now threat comes in. Now, when threat comes in, you tend to spend times 10 of the money that you were supposed to use initially. So, lack of employee training is one of the common mistakes companies make. And the other one is the outdated security infrastructure. So, yeah, now AI is evolving. Just as AI is evolving, our infrastructure is also supposed to evolve. Now let's see. Let's say, okay, let's say I'm running a system. Let's say I'm using a laptop, and the laptop is the laptop is a 1.8 gigahertz. Now, and we have an AI tool that tends to check for vulnerabilities and tends to protect for vulnerabilities. And that AI tool can only run on like a 2.6 gigahertz system. Now, the company, I don't know, due to ignorance, might not have changed their 1.8 gigahertz laptop, which is the infrastructure. Yeah. Now, when they don't change this, definitely they can't put this. They can't put AI protection systems in place. Now, when an AI threat comes into the company, there is no system to protect against these threats, thereby leaving them in huge losses. So these are the three common mistakes company made. Emphasis on this lack of employee training and understanding AI threats. Most companies tend to be ignorant about these three. Can you hear me? Can we all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, I'm coming. Right. Okay, can you still see my screen?
No, your screen share, the screen is not sharing anymore.
Okay, stop. So sorry. So yeah, the previous one was common mistakes companies make. Sorry for that breaking transmission. So the next one is the best practices that can be taken by a company to protect against AI powered threat. So the first one is proactive AI training. Yeah, we have three major best practices. Now, these three uh, best practices are kind of combating the common mistakes that are made by companies. So the first one is we have the proactive AI training. So companies should ensure regular employee training to help recognize AI-driven phishing schemes and other cyber threats. Now, we might feel we are wise enough to know which threat is AI-based, which phishing or which generated phishing email is AI-based, or which one is this, which one is that. But no, we are not really that sound to that extent to recognize AI-driven phishing schemes. So regular training should be done to help recognize these things. The next one is investing in AI security tools. So there are actually so many tools we can invest in. We can invest in so many AI security tools, cloud-based, Web 2 based, Web 3 based. So we companies should incorporate AI-powered cybersecurity solutions to stay ahead of rapidly evolving threats and to automate threat detection. It's just also move along with the trend. Now, for the fact that people moved along the trend fashion line, that does not now say for us, that does not say for us to stay mute. That does not say for us to stay mute in the internet world because we feel these things don't happen. Fine, we might not hear about it, but in real life, like in real sense, they do happen. AI-powered threats is out there. So we should incorporate AI-powered cybersecurity solutions to stay ahead of rapidly evolving threats and to automate threat detection. And the other one is the last one is the continuous monitoring. So companies should establish real-time monitoring systems to detect and respond to emerging threats as AI-powered attacks can adapt quickly. So companies should take note of real-time monitoring systems to be able to respond to emerging threats. Let these things be active. If companies cannot keep humans on the laptop for straight 24 hours, at least they should be able to keep artificial intelligence. I mean, AI don't get tired, so they should be able to invest resources in AI so their company can stay safe. So now, if companies were to implement AI security solution, here are three major steps they can use. Now we have the step one is to assess vulnerabilities. It's just following like the ISO 27001 regulation. You know, when a company is faced with a big threat and then they want to take out a policy, they tend to assess where the threat came in first so they can put necessary things in place. That's just how it is. So to implement AI security solution in your company, you just have to assess vulnerabilities first off. So yeah, you have to conduct a thorough audit of current security infrastructure to identify weak points susceptible to AI-powered attacks. Now, just as we have websites here, we have people who do penetration testing to find the vulnerability of the website and then tend to analyze it and solve for it. That's also how we can implement AI security solution. Conduct a thorough audit of current security infrastructure to identify weak points susceptible to AI attacks. Step two, we have to adopt AI tools. So yeah, you have to introduce AI-based anomaly detection and automated response system to strengthen defenses. Don't let us don't I don't want to say don't manage resources. We should all know that we should spend money on implementing AI security solution because on the long run, it would be of help. So the step three is to build a culture of awareness. That's where we have the security awareness training or the AI security awareness training. So we have to engage all employees and executives in understanding the importance of AI in cybersecurity and promote best practices across the organization. Make sure any employee that is coming in takes on the training. Don't just leave them ignorant. They might be your best hands, but they might not be your best hands in having best security practices. So these are the necessary steps to be put in place to implement AI security solution. So in as much as we're trying to implement AI security solution, we should also make sure that we comply with regulations such as the General Data Protection Regulation to safeguard users' data. And yeah, AI cybersecurity systems must be implemented responsibly. So just as when you buy a new system, there is a manual, there is a documentation thesis in the package. That's how we have a documentation for how AI cybersecurity systems should be implemented. So we should also stay informed about legal boundaries and the ethical use of AI in security practices. So it's not like you go to artificial intelligence to ask him to generate an attack script for you. Use it ethically. So yeah, these are the next steps for, yeah, these are basically how we can also implement AI security option. Assess and upgrade your security infrastructure, adopt AI-powered cybersecurity solutions, and then ensure continuous, emphasis on continuous employee training and awareness. So, and yeah, all the attacks I mentioned here, or any example I mentioned here, they're strictly for educational purposes. So, because using these methods might result in legal or ethical consequences. So, let's just tread ethically to help us. So yeah, in my conclusion, AI has transformed both the landscape of cyber attacks and defenses, while AI empowers attackers to craft more sophisticated methods. It also provides powerful tools for real-time threat detection, prevention, and response. So to stay ahead, companies must adopt AI-driven cybersecurity solutions, regularly train staffs, and continuously monitor their systems for emerging threats. As AI continues to evolve, the key to staying secure lies in adaptation and proactivity. So, thank you very much, Eyes Open Association. And is there any question?
Thank you, Mr. Christopher. This is very interesting what you just said concerning the various threats and attacks. And what I can say now is you're about to take some questions. And I don't see any question here for the moment, but we have some questions for you. You can just have a look down there in the chat. So the first question is, how can companies balance the use of AI in their cybersecurity strategies while ensuring that human oversight remains effective? Is the first one.
Sorry, come again.
You can have a look too.
The network kind of. Come again.
Can you read the question in the chat? Down in the chat.
Chat. Okay, so now he said, how can companies balance the use of cybersecurity strategies with AI threats? So balancing the use of cybersecurity strategies is crucial for companies to protect themselves while maintaining operational efficiency. So number one, we can have let's say companies should kind of adopt a layered security approach. Now, instead of saying, okay, this is one security posture we use, companies should use it like a multi-layered security strategy to to protect systems at various points. So by actually using multiple defenses or using multiple layered approach, companies can actually increase the likelihood that if a particular security measure fails, another one will catch the threat. So it does not boil down to using one. Yeah, I think that works. Okay, the next question. Can you share? Can I go on?
Of course, you can go on.
Okay, can you share examples of companies that have successfully integrated AI into their cyber security strategies? Yeah, in Nigeria, I know quite a number of companies that have implemented, that have successfully integrated AI into their cybersecurity solutions. And definitely, let's say most, in fact, all tech giant companies, we have the Microsoft, Google, PayPal, Tesla, SpaceX, they've all integrated AI into their cybersecurity strategies. So I kind of implore all of us here to do the same, as these things are coming at us real fast. So thank you. Okay, the next question. There are many solutions that have been
Yes,
developed with
there's a question from Amos.
there are many solutions that have been developed to integration. There are many solutions that have been developed. Okay, so if I get the question correctly, you are trying to say how can cybersecurity professionals use this AI to improve their roles as security professionals. Everything just boils down to learning. Everything boils down to learning. Now, how a security professional can leverage on ChatGPT or AkaGPT to do this is just by creating the right prompts. Let's say, let's say in an AWS, let me use an AWS environment. Now, let's say an AWS environment has several users. Now, the first username is, let's say, Francis. The second username is Audrey. Now, Francis has been laid off. Now, Francis has been laid off. It remains Audrey. Now, both of them are the admin. Now, for the fact that Francis has been laid off, it was laid off. Yeah, it was laid off. Definitely, he did not do something right. So now, is either that he would use a privilege escalation theory to come back now that he still has access. So he would try to be like an insider threat. Now, what Audrey should do in that instance, let's say Audrey is a security professional. What Audrey, and let's say Audrey professional, and then his knowledge rate is on a scale of 1 to 10 is, let's say, 6. Now, Audrey has tried his best, he's not still getting it. What I feel Audrey can do with the use of these AI systems is, okay, go on ChatGPT or whatever the system is. Now, narrate the full incident to the intelligence system. Now, artificial intelligence works in a way where you can converse. It works like a real conversation person. You tell him that, okay, this is what happened. So was laid off, blah, blah, blah. How do I do this? If the question you are asking ChatGPT or the measure you're asking the AI system is not unethical, definitely it will provide help. Definitely will provide help. So I think I answered the necessary questions, and I don't think there is more for now. So yeah, Audrey, over to you.
Okay.
Hello, Audrey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. So we can't have more questions. Actually, we gave you all the questions available from the audience. So we want to thank you for this outstanding presentation. This is actually a permanent topic concerning the cybersecurity challenges in 2024. So we are hoping that this awareness that you shared with us will help people and their companies improve the threats securities. So we want to thank you for that, and we hope that you will be coming next time with more exciting subjects like that. Thank you very much for being around, Mr. Christopher. Okay, without wasting time, and we are going to share actually the contact of Christopher. the LinkedIn contact of Christopher so that people around here, if they want to keep in touch with you, yeah, they will just have to send you a request on LinkedIn, and you maybe have some things to discuss together. So thank you again. Thank you everyone for being around here. And we are inviting you to join us tomorrow for more interesting topics. You know, this is the CyberSec week of EOCON, so ending this Saturday. And we hope to have you the whole week together. So have a good night and see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.